Welcome to another episode of the Grow, Glow, and Ho Heal Over Everything podcast. I am Talitha. We got my girl Nakia. Let's get into it. First of all, we are here in California and we are sending out so much love and prayer to all of our Californians, our Pasadena, Altadena, Pacific Palisades, Los Angeles, all of our neighbors, family, and friends affected by these devastating fires. We are sending you much love and our support here from Grow, Glow, and Ho. Friend, today's show sponsored by
Yes.
Excited.
I'm excited. When we excuse me, when we talked about Grow Glow Ho, we were like, oh, we're gonna promote our business and all that. And with every intention, we do have the greatest intention to do so. But it's so unfortunate how we're promoting today's business, which is Hygiene First. Hygiene First being my personal business.
Mhm.
Um, such a tragedy, such an impact, such a loss, such a gain. Because realistically, the gain is community is coming together. But today's show is sponsored by Hygiene First. And specifically, what we're doing is we're collecting donations, whether that be monetary or in person. In person, we're collecting donations at Nina's Organics in the city of Inglewood, Los Angeles, at the Baldwin Hills Plaza. You'll be able to follow our Instagram, Hygiene First LLC, and get donation directions on how to donate and where to park, which is closest to the movie theater on the
Mhm.
second floor, and directly in the store, which is Nina's Organics. Or you can do monetary donations by visiting our Zelle and or Cash App option using hygienefirstllc.com, our email. Excuse me, our email is info
Mhm.
at hygienefirstllc.com, or other platforms like Venmo, Cash App, which is Hygiene First LLC. Um, at Hygiene First, we really are specific about what it is that we do in the community. Although hygiene is broad,
Mhm.
we do a lot of things within hygiene, but our niche is feminine care products. So today I went out and bought hundreds of products, a
Same.
hundred,
Mhm.
we'll talk about that, where we're creating feminine care product kits where we can pass out. Because oftentimes when people go get donations, they're giving the bulk away if it's fully
Right.
packaged, which means the donations are going faster than
Mhm.
normal. So we break those down into hygiene kits because we're not talking about the girls who often menstruate in these devastating times too. So the focus are the parents, which makes complete sense, but we also want to impact young girls who are going through their menstrual
Mhm.
time during this tragedy. And as someone that's from Pasadena, grew up on Howard, 670 West Howard on Howard and Casitas, I lived at John Muir swimming. We rode our bikes up and down the street. We literally saw the fireworks at my grandma's house, and that's where we grew up. That entire neighborhood is our neighborhood. So the impact is so devastating. And I mentioned Christmas Tree Lane on the
Mhm.
podcast, I think episode 9.
Mhm.
So to see Christmas Tree Lane, which is homes who come together and decorated their entire community, that you can drive down the street and see the beautiful decorations as a family gone. It's like it's not just the Christmas that's gone, it's the
Right.
spirit that is temporarily gone, because I truly believe it'll come back, but better.
Yeah. Well, first of all, I'm so proud of you in Hygiene First. You are out
Mm.
here making moves in the community in Long Beach and LA. And y'all better stay tuned and keep an eye out for Hygiene First because listen, it's gonna take off. I'm claiming that now. But you're out here doing great work. And like you said, it's a horrible tragedy that you even have to sponsor the show in the name of this fire
Yeah.
and all the things that people have lost. And some lives we're now getting, death count, and it's just devastating. And so, as we were talking about this episode and what we wanted to talk about, what we wanted to name it, we came up with Burn It Down to Build It Better. So, let's get into it, friend.
Let's get
When
into
you
it.
even think of, I mean, it gives me chills to say it because, like you just said, it's going to get better. Nobody woke up on Tuesday, January 7th, and thought this was going to be what was happening. Like that was insane. And how the fires are just spreading at a rapid Right, it's like a perfect storm.
Oh my god.
How do you we always have the Santa Ana winds, right? But how do you have the winds with the fire, no rain in the forecast at all? It's like a perfect storm for this catastrophe.
Horrible.
You can't even this is out of a movie.
It was not on my bingo card.
At
Girl,
all.
at
At
all.
all. And so it puts things into perspective, number 1, about needing to be prepared
Yeah.
for anything to happen, right? Because I'm out in my area, you're here in Long Beach. We may never deal with the same, even when earthquakes happen, you may feel them out here. May not feel them where I am, or vice versa. It might be a little heavier or, more intense. But it's like needing to be prepared, needing to have your ducks in a row, your paperwork, a bag ready to go, just all these things that now are in perspective. And so understanding that sometimes life has to fall apart in order for it to come together.
Ooh, ooh, girl.
And, even in saying that, like, I get chills and I'm thinking just about my own situation and things that I'm going through and how my life has literally fallen apart in certain areas over the years, only for God to bring something so much more beautiful. The beauty in the
The,
breakdown.
why was I thinking that this week? Like, ooh, and I kept saying it, and I go, the beauty in the breakdown. Yes, the
So,
beauty in the breakdown.
like, we think about this election. We're still dealing with election depression.
Mm.
Then he got certified, Lord. You got
And
the clear
convicted
women wanting
without
to march.
consequence.
Then he's convicted with we're still segregated, but they talking about equal. And so the fire is just for me, I mean, it's very important, but it's a literal representation, an illustration of what is happening.
Yeah,
Like this shit is burning down.
to the studs, honey.
And it's gonna take a community
Yeah,
to build it back up.
yeah,
And Altadena being a predominantly Black neighborhood and area, a community,
yeah,
Pasadena not too far behind it. Pasadena probably was more diverse than Altadena, but still are people in the communities. And here we are having to rebuild and
yes,
go out there and help.
yeah, yeah. Such a hard thing to think about, but at the same time, some everything has to be broken down to be built back up. I mean, when people do add-ons to their home, the architect or the construction company don't just come on and start banging away. They got to make sure that the foundation is good enough to
Say
hold.
it.
And if the foundation's not good enough to hold, they're not going to add on until you fix the problem. So sometimes they say, well, you got to take this house down. We can't build on this. And then when we build up, we're going to make sure that the foundation we put on is sustainable for longer because
Mhm.
what was built back then isn't sustainable right now.
Yeah.
So a lot of these homes in Altadena unfortunately lost its life in the fire because of the wood that was there, because of the longevity. There were 3 generations that was
Mhm.
in that community.
Right.
So now when they rebuilt that community, I guarantee you the material that they're going to use going to be more sustainable. The life that's going to be lived is going to be even more celebrated. And the spirit will continue to live because what didn't die is the spirit of Altadena, just the foundation.
Right. And that's important to note that people's spirit may be broken right
Mhm.
now, like we talked about with the election. Our spirit was broken, our faith was broken.
Mhm.
So their spirit may be broken for now. But we are such a resilient people.
Thank
And
you.
I know that it was not only Black people that, are out there. Our hearts go out to everyone.
Yeah.
But just thinking about in this Black space that we're in right now and how resilient we are as a people
Yeah.
and how they have literally thrown us in the fire
Yeah. Mm.
and we come out charred
Yeah.
and better refined. Diamonds have to be pressure to be the gem that they are. And so wanting to encourage ourselves, our viewers,
Yeah.
our family and friends, like sometimes God has to burn you to nothing
Right.
to rebuild you,
Yes.
and we always talk about, how we're not religious here at GGH. We are more spiritual and relational. But baby, all I kept thinking about as we talked about this topic and we're Shadrach, Meshach in that fiery furnace and how they were just, in there like, God, where are you? And I've hear people this whole week, God, where are you? What are you doing? Why are you leaving us here? Like, what? We are 7 days into the new year, and
It
like, what are
is.
you doing? Do
Yeah.
you not hear us? You not see us? And remembering that the whole time those 3 boys was in that fire front, he was right there.
Why, ma'am? Ma'am, that's all I got. Okay, ma'am, because you're so right. I think about myself. Like when I'm going through something, I feel so isolated. Like this
Mhm.
is just me. I'm going through it. I'm going through it. And when someone says, "What do you need?" and they come through with that need, that's God. Because when now that the community is going what they're
Mhm.
going through, the community around them is rallying behind them.
Yes.
The donations, it's gotten so much where Altadena's like, yo, we appreciate you, but can y'all hold up? Well, it's too much. We need
You
to get,
turning down donations.
you know what I'm saying?
That's a
It's too
blessing.
much. But go to Pasadena and leave
Mhm.
some there, and we'll
Mhm.
come to Pasadena and pick some up. But we can't let anybody else in because it's too much right
Mhm.
now. That's God.
Mhm.
So I just want to encourage people that completely understand because it's your tragedy that you're experiencing and your loss, but God is still in it.
Yes.
Because if God is in all of us and we're there to support, God is still there.
He's still there. And
Yeah.
it's important to remind each other and ourselves, he has not forgotten about us.
No.
And I know I'm guilty of that. I have sat at home and cried and been like, "God, you just forgot about me. You
Mm-mm.
either allowed this to happen or you arranged for it to happen, but and now I'm just here." And it's so cliche, but that saying the teacher is always quiet during the test. He or she is not gonna raise up the answer for you. They're
Right.
gonna be quiet and allow you to get through the test. And that's what's happening. But the irony of this happening right before this thing comes back into office, where we already were feeling low, morale, hopeless, and God's like, "Oh, okay, hold my beer." you know, y'all thought y'all didn't have nothing to look forward to. You know
Not
what
the
I mean?
fear.
But you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, God has a sense of humor, whether we like it or not.
Period. Yeah.
God will always be God.
Yeah.
And it's just so crazy that we're focused on this thing coming back in and this them blew California away.
And you notice that hasn't been the conversation or even the energy. Like even today's sentencing without consequence or without jail or whatever that
Mhm.
thing that shall not be named was given. Okay. At this point, we've experienced enough to know that
Mhm.
there's no consequence for that.
Mhm.
So now I officially have rested in the belief that it's all on you, God. You got
Yes.
that?
Yes.
You got that. Because uh, conspiracy theories and all these things like, oh, well, the Hollywood Hills had to go and these celebrities and all that. You know what? Okay, if that's what it is, that's what it is. But I know what it is for me today is to show up and give,
Right.
to show up and provide, to show up and just be a vessel. But I'm going to let God do his thing.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm going to let God do what you say. Okay. Put the Glock on the table and just laugh.
Just laugh. Because he's like, I got it.
Yeah.
Y'all don't have it, but I have it.
Yeah.
And then you mentioned celebrities. It jams my Glocks, since we talking about Glocks,
Mhm.
that people are like, oh, they're celebrities. That was still their home. I
Mhm.
don't care if these people had $1 million. That was still their home. They still
Mhm.
have their priceless heirlooms and pictures and whatever. You know what
Mhm.
I mean? Like, does that mean because they're rich, they deserved their home to be burned down? Like, where is the humanity? But like you said, that has been less than normal. More humanity, more positive things have been spoken, I feel, over, what's happening. People are coming together. I'm way out in Ontario,
Mhm.
but it has affected me being a California girl, growing up in these neighborhoods, having to watch your city
Mhm.
burn into the ground where you hung out and did different things. That's not easy.
No.
That's not easy, and that's not even my home. These are just restaurants and places I would go visit. Like you said, you grew up here. You
Mhm.
have an address to tie to a memory
Mhm.
that may or may not be there.
Mhm. I Googled it. It's still standing. It's not owned by anyone black. But I go by my grandma's
Right.
house every time I'm
Right.
in Pasadena.
So amen for that.
But the black folks is still in their place.
Right.
Mhm.
And we're still going to be resilient and do what we need to do to rebuild that community.
Yeah.
We
Yeah.
talk about often it takes a village. And it does.
It does.
That did not start from happy times and great things happening. It started from oppressed time, segregated time, where we had to come together.
Yeah.
where we were all that we had.
Yeah. Yeah.
If the neighbors weren't helping with our children
Right? Which is why the neighbor whooped our ass. Okay? The neighbor
and
whooped
didn't
our
call the
ass
police.
and didn't call the police. The neighbors heard you get your ass whooped and didn't call the police. Betty over there beating that kid again. But yet, I told her to keep her ass out that tree. Well, you know what I'm saying? The
Just
neighbor
mind
was
your
in on it.
business.
Mind your business. Yeah.
Yeah. And all of that made you, made me,
Yeah.
Solomon made who we are today.
Yeah.
That community, that village, that love,
Yeah.
that sense of home.
A sense of home. Yeah.
That sense of home. Peace. Sometimes you could just pull up on the street and just have immediate peace.
Yes.
Because of what it brought to you. Like you said, Christmas Tree Lane brought you peace, brought you joy.
We were so removed. One of the things I love about Altadena, Pasadena, because I was right there on the border.
Mm-hmm. The Dinas.
The Dinas. Okay. The Dinas.
The
Okay.
Dinas.
One of the things I loved in my childhood about the Dinas, and I'm going to say I love, but it's not the most thing you probably should have talked about.
Okay.
But we didn't
It's
grow up. It's the truth, right? Which is why people be like, you bougie. I'm not bougie. I just didn't grow up in a hardship like some.
Oh, bougie like you and Solomon called me when I was eating my Welch's grape jelly?
Yes. Oh, and Solomon, I got smokers
Oh,
in my
no, I was on your side. No, I was on
you
your side.
rich.
I text her a picture of my Smuckers in the refrigerator right now.
She did.
Sometimes
bougie,
I stay home.
Bougie. Right.
Smuckers. Smuckers, reach out to us because we still
want sponsors.
Yes, Smuckers. And again, we didn't grow up in environments like my mom bused us. We took the RTD bus to Hastings Ranch.
The rough, tough, and dirty.
Yeah, so we didn't go into the schools in our community because where we live was so great. She sent us to the same equal-like environment.
Okay.
But we used to play drive-by. Yes. My cousins and I, when a car come down the street, we would run and hide behind the tree, be like, drive by. But that's because we heard about it. We knew about it.
Right.
But we didn't experience it.
Right.
And that's not something that, we probably should be celebrating. But the flip side of that, because two things can't exist at the same time, is that's how removed a lot of the community was from a lot of the hardships that so many people of color experience. So we got to experience, and I'm not saying middle class was better than or we were better than, but we've got to experience a different life in that environment. So my heart breaks because not that they shouldn't experience life as Black people, but we shouldn't have to all be hard-shipped in order to be connected to being Black. So that's why I'm just so heartbroken because I know what they're losing too.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's the only word I've been able to say all week is just devastating.
Yeah.
I don't even think there's a word for me that adequately describes what I'm feeling for these people. You know what I mean? I'm so thankful for all my family and friends who've reached out, who don't live in California, so they don't know where I live now in relation to LA. So they're like, we're just making sure,
Good.
Yeah. But even that, to pick up a phone and call or text, people are busy and have stuff going on. But for somebody to pick up a phone and think of you in this time, you can't even take that for granted.
Yeah.
Because there are people who go through stuff all the time and nobody reaches out. Like they have no one. So I don't even take that for granted. Granted, you might have to think about like, well, what kind of friend are you? Because to get a friend, you have to be a friend. Right. So sometimes it's like, well, maybe you're not a nice person. That's why nobody's reaching out. But I just still feel like everybody deserves somebody.
Yeah. Oh, I'm so glad you said that. Because these tragedies, for me, put things into perspective that I didn't have no man calling me to check on me. I didn't have a man to call me and say, do you need anything? Are you protected? Are you safe? And that stands out to me. That matters. So it further pushes me away from the divide that we are doing in our own community of, sis, you deserve, or these women want to be like, yeah, y'all can have that. But if you're still operating in that mentality to this day, then you're not rebuilding the community at which needs to be rebuilt. Right. Because loneliness is a real thing. I'm alone at times, but I'm not lonely.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? I value my peace. I value my space, but I still want to feel like someone is concerned about me. And that stood out to me like, damn, nobody called and checked on you. Then I was like, well, maybe you should meet somebody. Have somebody check on me today,
Right.
and I'll talk to you when I talk to you.
Because, baby, you going to put them on the back burner now
I do.
if they get to irritating you. But,
Woo.
yeah, that's absolutely right, you
Yeah.
know. And it doesn't, this, like you said, puts things into perspective where it reminds you of what's important to you,
Yeah.
what makes you feel good,
Yeah.
what, not only to receive, but to give.
Yeah.
You know, doing your excuse me, hygiene first of all, I know that feeds your soul
Ugh.
because you are a giver. You are a community person. You are someone, you know, that loves giving back.
Yeah.
And so that's something, you know, seeing people come get product tomorrow, I know that's going to feed your soul.
Yeah.
And it's going to bring you some sort of joy at the same time, still making you sad that you have to be out here giving these products away because this has happened.
Yeah.
You know, and like you said, two things can be true at the same time.
Mm-hmm.
But you have to burn it down to build it better.
Yeah.
And so now that kind of takes us to how we can apply that to our whole journeys,
Okay.
our healing journeys, right? What do we need to burn down to build up?
I like that.
You know, like we talked about energy.
Yeah.
It's something that sometimes you might need to burn that energy down with a little sage or a little something to build something up better or to create something better. Before the new year, we were both talking about how we were cleaning out the energy in our homes and, you know, just getting ready to enter into a new chapter and having to go through and sage and pray over and just really center yourself in the space that you're in the majority of your days.
Mm-hmm.
You know, that goes with your healing journey. The energy you sit in is a major part of your healing journey.
Yes.
You know? Go ahead.
I just cleaned out my closet today.
Okay.
Because we have a family group chat, and I'm like, hey, I'm going to Pasadena. I'm going to be cleaning out my closet. My aunt, who, you know, my family, they grew up in Pasadena. We the Dinas, right? So they like, oh, well, we in our closet right now. So she's like, I'm cleaning my closet out right now. I'm going out there tomorrow to Brookside to go start volunteering, all this stuff. And I just went in my closet today and started pulling things off the shelf. All I see is hangers now. A few clothes, but hangers. And the energy just because I'm holding that there to fill up a room so it looks pretty. I was homeless before, so I know what it feels like to lose everything or to sell things to have something coming in. When I looked around in that space, I don't need it. I don't need it. I don't even want it. It's just sitting here. And I've gotten so vain with it because it's there. Girl, I could be a housewife, the Real Housewives of Long Beach right now, okay? Because I'm like, oh, I'm not wearing that again. I've taken pictures in it and people seen me in it like twice. What? What?
But you're going to bless somebody.
Right. So, and I'm an impulse buyer. And that's one of the things I've actively, and I'm so proud of myself, I've been actively not doing, is when I go into the store and something's on sale, I go, oh, I save money. Didn't you just buy that? But did you really?
Right.
And so the stuff I'm donating got tags on it, shoes got tags, and I'm just like, I'm looking at gluttony in my space. So to remove that is lightening the energy. And I'm like, I got to take all this away because none of this means anything. So let me not replace it. Let me fill it with energy, good things, more books. Fill the shelves up with books. Read, girl.
You have books on hangers?
Yeah, I mean. Ooh, that's a good one.
No. Okay. So like our energy helps on our whole journey. Workplace trauma needs to be burnt down and rebuilt.
Drink some. Go on.
A little water. We wish we had something stronger, huh, to drink on that. But right, the trauma that we deal with in the workplace, and again, this is not just about Black women, but we are Black women, and this is our experience.
Yeah.
So find yourself where you can. But you know, we all being Black women have dealt with workplace trauma and how it follows us from job to job because we haven't burnt it down to rebuild it. These organizations, some of them do a great job, but then the rest of them, they're just destroying us on the inside, and we just go like from man to man to man looking for it to be fixed or repaired, and we haven't even burnt down the trauma that company X did before
Mhm.
we get to company Y.
Yeah. Yeah.
Burn it down. Build it better.
Burn it down. Collaborate. I'll go back to what I say, you know, I've never experienced relief in an interview
Okay.
until I interviewed with Tina, CEO. I don't know if she still is, but at the time, CEO of the OWN network. I'm interviewing with the CEO who reports to Oprah and the board of the OWN network. And when I went into this interview to be her executive assistant, we're just shooting the stuff, right? And she's asking me about me. What do you do for fun? Tell me about yourself. Dot, dot, dot. I'm ready to interview the way I would anywhere else. But being in that space, it wasn't a black space, but it wasn't a white space either.
Mhm.
It was just, she wanted to know me. Are you a good fit?
Yeah.
And, the distance was too much and there was no way I can commit to that. But I did want the interview to even just have the ability to say I interviewed
Right.
there. And I told her, I sent her an email and I sent her some gifts afterwards just to thank her because that space was so relieving. And it gave me the confidence to go into other interviews to say, I'm here professionally. If you can't see that, then I don't need to
Right.
be here. But yeah, we have to learn to burn even our own insecurities down so we can now go into those opportunities. Even if we want that job, it may not be for us. And we might not even want the job because of the money. We might want it because of the culture, but it still may not be for us. So you have to learn how to burn even your own insecurity so you can build it back up and go into their environment, not for them, but for you. If
Right.
that makes sense.
No, it makes perfect sense. And thinking of your interview, it sounds like she humanized
Oof.
the experience for you.
Yeah.
Because yes, every day we're black women. Whether we go walk into the store, the mall, sitting here, you can't help but look at we're black women.
Right.
But we don't always want to be identified as that.
Yeah.
I am a black woman, but I'm not only a black woman. Who I am is Talitha.
Yeah.
And so it sounds like that
Put your
interview
black ass.
humanized it
Mm-hmm.
with a black ass.
Sorry, girl.
But it sounds like she humanized it for you, like you said.
Yeah.
Tell me about you. And it wasn't, tell me about you as a black woman.
Yeah, with your black ass. Right. None of that.
Right. What about relationships, girl? Burning them down. And I mean intimate and platonic, friend, professional. Some of y'all's relationships need to be burned down.
Ooh.
And some of them don't need to be built back better.
Ooh.
But some of them need to be burned down.
Ooh.
And like you
Big
said,
facts.
don't want to let it go.
Ooh. Shooting shots over here, ain't we? Let me drink some more water again, girl.
Listen, my soul is on fire. This has put so much into perspective.
Yeah.
That after these fires let me know some people I don't need to return another call or text.
Yeah.
I need to burn it. Let it burn, Usher.
Okay. When the
If
feeling ain't the same in your body.
Don't want to, but gotta let it go. Like, some of y'all need to be burned down. My God. There's some friendships that need to be burned down that probably do need to be rebuilt. Some friendships are worth salvaging.
Yeah, I agree.
Just in some relationships, not every relationship that goes through a hard time or a rough patch needs to be destroyed. Sometimes you do need to burn it down and build it back. But some of them need to be burned down and stay down.
Yeah. Yeah. I wholeheartedly agree with that. And it doesn't have to be tragedy.
Right.
It doesn't have to be that. Sometimes life have an expiration. Like my best friend.
Say it.
Yeah. My best friend of 20-something years. Let me see. Joshua 26. So at least 25, 24 years, one of them. We don't see each other often. Now, she lives in San Pedro on the other side of the bridge. And every now and again, we'll text or like, I just sent her a message like, hey, just making sure you're okay. How's your mental health with everything going on, She respond back to me. When I tell you if she called me today and needed anything, I'm there. Vice versa. But we don't have to be that because we understand that we are living an individual life, but we're still energetically connected. Whereas there's so many people connected, but they're not connected. And they're living life together through marriage, friendship, relationship, or whatever. sometimes you have to learn to say it's okay to say no and walk away, or stay and still say no. No. And I had to learn that, and I'm continuously learning that, even to my own detriment
Mhm.
sometimes, or even to my own fault with my own relationships. So, yeah. But it's, I think when you start to reflect and identify who is
Mhm.
important, you then value how you're going to move forward.
Absolutely. Because no is a complete sentence.
Very odd.
And why do people feel like they need to add on? Sometimes a further explanation is needed, and sometimes it's kind to give it depending on who you're dealing with.
Yeah.
Like, I probably wouldn't just say no to you and keep it pushing. I'd be like, here's why, friend. Like,
Yeah,
because
yeah,
I
you would.
value this, I also value your opinion. So if I'm saying no and then I give you my reason why, you may be able to share something that may get me to say yes. Not that you're trying to talk me out of my thought or my feeling,
Yeah.
but let me give you so sometimes no and explanation is good because it can be helpful. Sometimes people just need to know.
Right.
and move the hell on.
Yeah. Yeah. And if you struggle with just saying no, here's what I would suggest. I just got into it because I think, did I tell you? I told somebody. It was this guy I was talking to. Yeah.
Yes.
And the conversation started to go left. And every time we talk, he would always go, well, you don't know what I'm thinking. You don't want to know what I'm thinking. You grown piece of dinosaur. Why do you keep alluding to sexual conversations? Like, that ain't even my get down. I'm grown. You know what I'm saying? Like, I present well. I'm classy, okay? Don't pull that out of me. Okay, behind closed doors, if I talk different, then that's just between us. But I don't want to just come out and be like, so tell me about your little penis. You know what I'm saying? Like, that ain't my type of language. So I don't know how to tell people no sometimes, or to go get the fuck off my phone. I just don't know how to do it without
You say it
sounding
like that.
like my Aquarius want to go deeper. So I started to chat GPT my nose. Like, write a detailed text explaining to this person that we are not aligned and I don't find value in the relationship, da 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 da. Because if I can't find the words because the words will be very harsh, then I'll let Chat GPT do it and I'll just copy paste and I'm done. But
ChatGPT can burn them down.
you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So we have to, we still have to deliver the no. But if
Yes.
it's not your thing, then find a way to do it. But
Absolutely.
don't shy away from that.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Some of these homegirls and these homeboys need to be burnt down.
Yeah.
Some of them built back up, some of them not.
Yeah.
Self-reflection and accountability. So, some don't even have it to burn it down, to build it back up. Some of y'all just need to get some self-reflection and accountability. Let's start there. So at your blank canvas, some of y'all need to gain some accountability or self-reflection because,
Mhm.
y'all couldn't have possibly thought you were right, but they do.
But they do. Oh, okay.
There's no accountability.
Yeah. If I gotta keep saying, I understand because you keep saying, yeah, but you, but yeah, but you, but yeah, but you, then I'm like, I Chat GPT. Like, I can't. Ugh. I can't. I can't.
Yeah, it's I, it just it cracks me up when people are so quick to point
Yeah.
and never just look.
Yeah.
It's like, go find a mirror and look how crazy you look pointing,
Yeah.
and soak that in and find out where can you point at yourself.
Yes.
And just, where do I need to be better?
Oof.
Lord God, reveal it to me where I need to grow, where I need to improve, where I need to mature. Help me see my flaws, because the amount of perfected people that's walking around.
Oof. I know one of the things I have to get better on, and I'm really going to make the intention to put time into it, is I don't communicate often. Like, I'll ghost anybody, like not one
And will.
person,
And she will.
anybody.
And she will.
You know what I mean? When I go through things privately because I know I don't want my energy to transfer. I don't want to infect because it's how I'm feeling in the moment or right now. And I don't know how to tell someone that. And some people go, well, just call me. Just let me know. I don't even know how to tell you. I don't want to pick up your phone call right now because my thought process is you'll think it's about you. And it's not about you. I don't want to talk to nobody. Hell, I got texts, emails, and I'm just like, I'll respond later. because even a simple yes is a task. And I just don't feel like it. And I hibernate. And what I used to do was feel really bad for it or be made to feel bad for it. And one of the things I love about, celebrating my Aquarius behavior is I identified that other people
Right.
have that trait. So now I start to lean into like, okay, that's a trait. Now, because I recognize it as being a trait, I have to make sure it's not an offensive trait. So there's a couple of people who's been on my mind that I have to reach out to. One in particular, I absolutely love her. We've done a lot of work together, but I haven't been in the best energetic space. And when I'm focused on something, I'm oftentimes focused. So anything outside of that is not really my focus.
Right.
And I don't know how to tell somebody that. Or if I'm committing to something that I really can't commit to and I can't do it, or something happens where I can't continue to do it, I struggle with saying, "Oh, I can't do that," and then having to explain why.
Right.
So I'm gonna reach out to her, but I know that I have to actively be better, but I don't have the bad intention of when I do
Right.
do it.
And that's that self-reflection and that accountability,
Yeah.
owning it. And again, standing your ground on your boundary in that moment, but also realizing this isn't always the best way to handle it,
Mhm.
but it's the way I have to handle it for my own peace and my
Mhm.
own, sanity. It's similar to remember around the holidays and you had invited me over and I just couldn't. I
Mm-mm.
just couldn't be around like other people.
Mhm.
Because I said I don't want to be the Debbie Downer at this function. I don't want people coming in good spirits and good mood and here I am over in the corner looking like I just got done sucking lemons. I don't want that to be a representation of you even inviting me as your friend. You know what I mean? And so
Okay.
yeah, you have to definitely know when you can be in certain spaces, when you need to just retreat to get yourself together. But the issue is when people come around knowing that and they still come around.
Mm. Okay. Yeah.
You know what I mean? Knowing that this is not the space for them or knowing that this is not the best time or their energy isn't great, but they still come around. Then they get mad at you when you call them out on it.
Yeah. I like that metaphor because I'm going to take it into the social media aspect.
Okay.
And I sent this to you yesterday, and I've been saying it intentionally because I saw it as a post. Someone responded and said, "Observe, don't absorb."
Mhm.
And the power in words is a real thing because when I saw that, it immediately hit me like, okay, you keep scrolling, seeing the devastation. You keep scrolling, and then you read the comments and see the ignorance in the comments. Observe, don't absorb. And then it got to the point where I couldn't observe anymore. And I thought, okay, stop, do something else. And that's when I remembered the Upshaws came out.
The
The new
new season,
episode.
yeah.
Girl, I love the Upshaws. I love the Upshaws. Like, it's one of my favorite.
Okay.
It just reminds me of the Cosbys, Martin,
What we used to have.
Living Single, right? Because you got Tootie in there.
Right.
Kim
Back to
Fields.
life, right.
You know what I mean? Like, it gives me the trifecta in this one show. So I was able to laugh. I think I made a video about it because Nene Leakes was on it. And like, last night, it gave me what I needed that today when I woke up and I felt it. I have such good energy. I was able to go clean that closet out. I'm excited to donate. I'm excited to do all the things I'm getting ready to do. But had I not did that and saw that and shifted, my energy today would have just been, I
Where
would have been
mine
in
was.
tears again.
Where mine was. Yeah. But again, that accountability, that self-reflection, knowing what you need, and not saying that you always know what you need. We don't always know. Like you said, sometimes I don't even have the language to
Yeah.
tell somebody or to even tell myself, what do I need? But when you do have that language and you do know what you need, why are we not acting with that intention?
Yeah. Yeah.
You know? We talked about, community engagement, support, the village.
Girl, this is
Sometimes
girl
that
glowing
is
hoe. I'm gonna do this. I'm lying to myself. Girl, it's hot.
yeah.
This menopause and makeup and glasses and jacket and pants and leotard and necklace. Girl, go ahead.
Do we need to have a GGH after dark edition where
Girl.
you just come up in here and just sit in your birthday suit? I don't know. I don't know, Solomon. Is that
Oh, our
allowed?
next show is our birthday, so
It's her birthday.
so you
and
let
she
me
gonna be
know
in her
if the birthday suit.
Oh,
I might have to be looking at you. I might have to switch spots and I'll be looking at
yeah.
Like I said,
I might have to
just-
revisit the studio guidelines.
Listen, if there's cameras in here, just cut the check, okay? Do what you got to do. OnlyFans
Cut
me.
the check.
OnlyFans me, child. Hell, I've been working too hard. Now I got to let something work for free.
Ooh, that.
Wait, we went from pass the plate to now cut the check.
You know what I mean?
She burnt that plate down and now she got the check. But no, what I was going to say about community engagement, sometimes that has to be burnt down because sometimes a community can be so toxic and so negative that it needs to be burnt down and rebuilt and made better. I'm definitely not saying that the Dinas needed to be made better, but I'm just going back to your original statement when we first started. It's going to be so much better when it's rebuilt. Different because it's a different generation taking over. Hopefully, they'll take what their ancestors and their elders, what seed. Because baby, when you plant them seeds, you don't always get to reap. You don't plant the seed and reap the harvest the next day. Okay. Sometimes it takes months or even years for a harvest to reap, and you done planted these seeds.
Girl. You know, you so clean with your comments.
I'm trying. You know, I know we're on YouTube and we can say whatever we want, but I'll be trying to reach all the colors of the rainbow.
I'm going to throw a little black spin on it.
Okay, go ahead.
Because what you said is it's so professional and so profound.
Poignant.
So poignant. And so for those of you in the comments or those of you on the show who's watching are like, what I don't plant, I don't garden. Okay, well, fine. Sometimes you got to put the cornrows on to tuck your hair away. Put the wig on top because what we on, what they call that, girl?
Girl glowing hoe.
Girl glowing hoe. And they call it, you know, we do it with our hair. When we cornroll our hair and then we
plait it down.
Protective style.
Protective style.
Sometimes to keep your hair healthy, to keep your community healthy, you got to cover it with something else. You know what I mean?
You better cover.
So I'll just
no. Go ahead. You better cover.
You know,
because sometimes it's needed.
It's needed. I'm in a pullback today. I wouldn't put no heat on this because I just put heat on my hair a week ago, and we're in the winter time. And we know what winter does to Black girls' hair, most of us. It makes it brittle. It makes it hard and dry. So it's hard to stay moisturized in a dry winter. So in the summertime, when it's hydrating season, we out here in our braids, we out here in our braid out. But typically in the wintertime, we hydrate more because of the climate. Well, why can't we use that same analogy to our Black community? Because of the climate, we're going to have to put more of something on it to keep it fresh, keep it clean, and keep it hydrated. And what this fire did is brought a lot of conditioner out. Okay. It brought a lot of conditioner out because we use conditioner on our hair. We hydrate in our community. So can we imagine that when our grandkids, for those who own those homes, come back, when they see the neighbor build and they go, oh my God, you built, you back. The celebration that's going to happen in the communities that rebuild is going to be so amazing. So you're so right.
With your analogy, it brought the conditioner out, but it also revealed some split ends. Because these hydrants running out of water, you know, it brought out a lot of issues that probably would have never been addressed or identified had this not happened. Now, it is horrible that it takes something like this to happen to find out that everything, what's that old saying? Everything in the milk ain't clean.
Right. And that our water is for sale.
Yeah. Right.
There's only so much of that water is available.
Known.
Nobody would have known.
And so, you know, when you talked about, you know, and maybe it was just us, when you talked about the finger pointing and it's Gavin and it's Karen and it's who gives a damn at this point right now who it is? Let's just fix it.
Right.
Then we can get to the root cause of, okay, this person or this department or this government entity dropped the ball here. Let's pick up it. And I'm saddened to say that with this new administration coming in, it's going to be a lot more finger pointing than solutions.
I'm so glad. I'm so glad that President Biden, has allotted California to have guaranteed funding, guaranteed reimbursement, guaranteed support. And it's mandatory. It's guaranteed. So that thing can come in office and do nothing. Because you got other states, let's say, I think it's North Carolina. And
they still struggling.
And Black community is in North Carolina. Why? Because the Carolinas is where we settled to. So our love for Black community out there is just as strong as LA. However, two things can exist at the same time. Your GOP and the GOPs alike are refusing funding. They're refusing the funding. So don't be mad that we got a governor that stands on business. Okay, I'm here for Zaddy, Governor Newsom. He okay with it.
Right. He is. Even with his mistakes, even with certain things that he has done that I haven't agreed on, which I'm not going to agree on everything with anyone. You know what I mean? So even with the things I feel he could have done differently, that man has done the best he could.
Period.
For California.
Period.
We've always been expensive before him. We was expensive with Governor Schwarzenegger. So again, they trying to blame it on him. They just want to find a scapegoat. No one, I won't say no one, that's being extra. More people are looking to point the finger and find the scapegoat than to find the solution.
Yeah.
Than to get out there, boots on the ground. That man, Zaddy Newsom, was out on the ground in Palisades, okay?
Yes.
Cleaning up, helping, doing what needed to be. Did you see the lady that bum rushed him? Let me hear your conversation with the president. What are you doing to help? And he's like, ma'am, I want to help you. Let me get back on this call. Let me figure out how I can help. Well, the school's burned down, and what are you doing about it? The hydrants are out of water.
Was it a sister?
No.
Oh, okay.
It was one of his own.
Okay.
But you're stopping
I want to talk to the manager.
But you're stopping him from being on a call to find the solutions.
Yeah.
You're stopping him to tell him he's to blame, to find out who else is to blame, to tell him all your woes. Ma'am, go sit back down in your rubble for right now.
I could know what that is. Sorry.
I'm just saying, like, if you're not going to do something useful, go back and play in those ashes right now, because I'm over here handling business. And no shade on, you know what I mean? But it's like, you're not being helpful or effective at all. Go sit down. Play in the water you talking about while I'm over here trying to help find solutions for these people.
You know those TV shows when they got really good comedians on the show? And the comedians are just going off and they have to still deliver the line. I feel like I'm sitting here like,
they break character.
Don't try not to break character.
You did.
Because I know you're not saying that in like negativity, but just the metaphor of it is like, you so right. But the punchline is just like.
But go find something to do. I'm over here working. I'm over here working. This man is in sweats, a hoodie, a hat. He's not even trying to be incognito. I'm just working. I'm covered up. I'm working, mask on, all that. And you still figured out who he was.
That's why community is so important.
That part.
It's so important. I don't know what it is. And this is not a Black, well, it is a Black thing. Okay. But unfortunately, it's not y'all thing. Okay. When Black people show up in droves, there's a spirit that happens. Ooh. There's a warmness that hits the tone of your body. Mm-hmm. It is something. I saw a video and I shared it on TikTok today. South African firefighters flew into Canada and they're coming into the U.S. to help fight the fires. Them South Africans was up in the airport singing and chanting and jumping. When I tell you my ancestor was like, get up and dance too.
See?
There's something in Black people.
To move on too, didn't you?
Indeed.
I know you
and
did.
It was the African way. But there's something about Black community that is so different that when tragedy happens and white people show up, it's wonderful to see the donations. It looks it's beautiful. But when Black people do it, baby, it's magical. It's different. So we understand that we can't blame, or people can't blame the governor or even Karen Bass for that matter. But they need somebody to blame because it's tragedy in the moment. However, we as a people, specifically Black people, we lean on community.
Absolutely.
And our community shows up. So I encourage other communities to build culture or adopt a culture and stop stealing it.
Stop being a culture vulture.
Stop being a culture vulture. You can't do what we do. What you can't do is run up to the governor, not Zaddy Newsom. Let him handle that phone call because it could be to the benefit of the community. And that's what I think we're missing. Is the acknowledgement that Black people, we have it. Let's keep going and build better.
Here I come to save the day. That needs to be our theme song.
Yeah. Okay.
Because I am so interested in seeing what this women's march on the 18th looks like when there's no color in the, in the field. I'm interested to see what this is gonna look like. I'm sure the 8%,
What's the theme song gonna be?
that's for them
So
to
I
find
put
out.
my hands up, playing my song. The butterflies fly away. That's my jam, though.
Oh my
But
God.
that's mobbing my hair like, yeah. Because why? You guys are marching for.
But that was a bop, baby.
That was
Miley
a
gave us a
bop.
bop. So we
Right.
might need to find something a little more watered
No,
down.
our song though.
Oh, that was for us?
No, that's their song.
Oh, well,
What's our
ours.
song?
After Mother Dick, cut him down for. I don't know. But I'm
Yeah.
interested to see how they pull this off without us.
Yeah. Please, Black women, stand on your business.
Because we
let's
all,
see it.
yeah, and we all have a part to play.
Yeah.
So,
We burn.
allies, play your part.
Please.
Because we on break.
And this is nothing against, because I think we often, not we, but sometimes in the conversation, some Black women could be so harsh. They're like, well, forget all y'all. No, there's a whole
Right.
lot of white people,
Yes.
white women who voted in the interest
Yes.
of
The
themselves
allies.
and
Yes.
women. Right. But this is where culture, you all have to be better about standing on business with your culture, because we attack ours. Like,
Yeah.
we ain't afraid
Yeah.
to tell sis, no,
Right.
you're wrong. That's not kind. That's not right. Or call them out like, oh my God, I know we coming. Now we got to do our whole tip. But girl, I wanted to talk about that girl who had to get up in front of the church.
Well,
I really,
that was my story. So it made me feel away. Yeah, I had to stand up in front of the church and confess that I was pregnant teenager.
Really?
And my father was the pastor.
Oh.
And I wrote about it in here. It was devastating. So that was very triggering.
Yes.
It was very emotional.
Yeah.
Because I remember that level of embarrassment and shame that was thrust upon me. So go ahead. Yeah.
Yeah. We'll have to make
Yeah.
a special space. It's too soon, because I did a live after I saw that. I was triggered because I went down the hill where we went to church when I moved to Oklahoma City. Now, my life in California and Oklahoma City were different.
Okay.
Right. We did grow up on food stamps out there. And it was nothing wrong with that. Now that I'm an adult and I can see the benefit of it. But I stole some lifesavers. Well, we had to ask on the refrigerator to get food. Food was a lot rationed out. So it was a lot of times, hell, I was hungry. But when I got caught, I had to go in front of the church and apologize to the church for stealing. Nobody asked why. Nobody said, what do you need? Yeah. They saw disparity. And my dad didn't go to church with us. So we were sent there. So if you're in church with community and they don't see that you have your own community there, there's something to be said there. But yeah, so I had to go live. It just brought out a lot.
A whole bunch.
Yeah.
It was, that was a lot.
Yeah. So
and that church, that pastor need to be burnt down.
And should.
And rebuilt into someone better. So, whole tip though. What are you going to burn down to build better? Or what advice do you have for someone wanting to burn something down and needing to rebuild it?
I mentioned something the other day and I completely forgot, so I'm not gonna pretend.
And I did
remember.
tell you to write it down that day, and you did not.
Yeah, I probably voice texted, and that's now.
No,
we were
on FaceTime. Remember? And I was like, "Oh, write it down." And I said, "That's your whole tip right there."
Yeah, I did.
But whatever comes out, it's gonna be of God. Let him use you.
Let him use
Let him use you, Sister Hannah.
What am I willing to burn down or let go to build back better? Everything that I thought that I did right, I'm still burning that down. Like I said, I lean into my Aquarius of, I understand sometimes I need to isolate because that's where I get my strength. I have to figure out what it is, clean it up, and then I can get back out and present. I don't communicate easily. I don't communicate well because I don't want to respond to the yeah, but, howevers, and ors, and nothing like that. So I just don't. But that doesn't mean I'm always going to get that. So I'm going to continue to burn down my own behavior so I can continue to be the communicative person that I know I can be, so I can express better. So I'm going to, that's what it was. I'm my chakra girl. I'm going to stop saying, well, maybe. No, I'm just going to say, I don't like this because, or I think that you chose to intentionally impact me this way because, and let the truth be the truth. And that's it.
Shout out to Monique. You opened up her throat chakra. Okay. So my whole tip, because I brought up Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego sitting in that fire, I am going to burn down my need for control in my situations. I am currently sitting in some fires that I feel like God has forgotten me, and I'm sorry. Where I feel like God has forgotten me, and I'm just sitting there feeling like I'm burning.
Mhm.
But these fires, this has changed my perspective that he's burning down the things around me that no longer serve me, that no longer provide for me, that no longer help me be better. He's burning them down. And I'm actually excited, even if I can't visibly show my excitement, but I feel like some peace on the inside that better is coming. So I implore anyone that is going through their fire right now or sitting in that fire and you feel like you're alone, please know that you're not. And please know that whatever's going to come out of that is going to be a better version of not only yourself, but of the life that God has intended for you to live in and thrive in. So I'm going to burn down my need for control and I'm going to sit my ass in this fire until I come out as the diamond.
Can I add to that? I just want to say that's so beautiful because you just displayed it. Because what you were holding in, you let it go. That's a display of letting go. Even that should be celebrated.
So that's what we're going to do. We're going to go celebrate.
Yes, and eat, girl.
And
We hungry.
thank y'all once again. This episode brought to you by Hygiene First. Please, 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 if you're able to donate to all of our family and friends and our Californians who are suffering right now and they're building better, we ask that you would donate. Keep us all in prayer out here in California. And until next time, keep growing, keep glowing.
And keep hoeing
Over everything.
over everything.
Bye.